Hey Virgo, and welcome to your bi-weekly reading. This is a bi-weekly reading for Virgo Sun or Rising, and this reading we are going from the full moon to the new moon. So the full moon on June 3rd to the new moon on June 17th. I almost said Gemini 17th because the new moon is in Gemini in tropical astrology on the 17th. Decisions. I'm feeling this one. So, okay. We're doing a little bit of a different spread for this particular reading. So we're looking at one belief shadow card that is kind of like what is in the way, what is blocking or in the way that needs to be dealt with when it comes to you progressing in your life, to moving things forward and what you're trying to create in your life in any direction, whether that is with like career, relationships, whatever it is. So we're taking a look at that and some advice for how you can start to like clear this energy, start to get the energy moving with this, just start to clear it out. So I felt like this would be appropriate because of that waning phase of the moon that we're in, right? So just really quickly to say, for those of you who are maybe new to astrology or don't really know, the new moon to the full moon is building energy. It's very much like building, waxing until we get to that full moon. And then it's like pregnant with life, and then it bursts like cutting into an over medium egg, and the yolk spills out, and that cutting into it and the yolk spilling out is going from the full moon to the new moon. And that's the energy of just like what needs to go, what can we release, what can we let go of, what can we look at in our internal space, in our shadow space. So I felt like this would be really appropriate. We're also going to use my new deck, I'm so excited, to take a look at how you need to be in action in order to create what it is that you say you want to create for your life, how you can align your actions with your values. I really love that. I actually was inspired by that this morning, and I was like, yeah, let's incorporate that. I really like that. So we're going to take a look at how you can be in action, because it's like, okay, cool. We're taking a look at what is blocking you and how to start to move through that. But also let's take a look at how you can be in consistent action as well. And then just one more card we're going to pull really quickly for any kind of additional spiritual advice to help ferry you through, like ferrying you across the waters of the next 2 weeks. I feel like ferrying through is an appropriate term because we're talking about moon phases. So yeah, just to help you navigate. And it could be related to these like cards here, and it could be more so related to just like by itself, how to help navigate through this period of time as well. So, all right, let's get these, make sure they're in frame. Okay, so let's start with the shadow card first, and then we'll like work our way through. So this shadow card, I like this one because I feel like it's really clean and simple. So trading today for tomorrow, and it can go in either direction, right? So when we trade what we're doing today for the hopes of a better future tomorrow and the hopes of a better turnout and the kind of turnout that we want, or we're trading our future and the plans that we already had, or the vision that we already had, or the track that we were already on, we're trading like our future vision for, and like being in this present for the present moment and what we're experiencing now, in the hopes that like that's okay, that it won't be disruptive to the future plans that we had mapped out, right? And you can see that this could be problematic in different ways, right? Somebody who maybe, like for instance, in the last example I was giving, they had like this track that they were on this trajectory, and bam, they meet someone new, and they then kind of sideline the future plans that they had, all of the hard work that they'd put into what they were planning to do, the path that they were on, the career path that they were on, right, for the possibility of this person in the present moment. I'm not saying that that's always wrong. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. And some beautiful love stories have come out of that. But just as an example of how like that's a risk, right? It's a risk. And then also trading today for a better tomorrow is similar, but like being in this place where it's just like, yeah, I'm jeopardizing my potential future for this present moment, right? And you can see the similarity in them. So I can say that it goes like either way, but it's pretty straightforward and simple. You know, is there a place where you're actually sacrificing either your present or your dreams for the future, like what you have planned for yourself, because of what's occurring in your space right now? You know, is that healthy? Is it what you're meant to do? Is it what you're supposed to do? Only you can actually know that, but it's coming up as something that is in your shadow realm, in your belief structure. So I think that you're the only person who can decide whether, you know, maybe you're someone who is like, again, taking that risk, and it is the risk to make. However, you have all of these kinds of beliefs or ideas about that it's wrong, or that it's going to screw things up, or that you're not, like all these things, right? Or again, it could be a decision where it's like you're really making the sacrifice, and it's a sacrifice that is not like it's not a good bet to make, and taking a very real look at like where you might be compromising yourself and sacrificing yourself and the things that are important to you for whatever it is in the present moment. And again, like I gave the example of a person, but that could be a job opportunity, that could be a lot of different things. So I feel like where we get some illumination, the sun, where we get some illumination is in the advice card that you have that's coming through, which is the sun card, right? The sun is our life-giving warmth and vitality in this life, right? It is what lights us up. It is what gives us a sense of like purpose and freedom in this world, right? It's like we love being in the sun, right? And here is this woman, like, and you typically see like a young child naked and on riding bareback on a horse, so very similar, but like out in the sun, carefree, like free from responsibility, just enjoying life. And so I feel like returning to understanding, like I think the way to get some clarity on whatever this is for you is to look at what is it that actually brings you a sense of feeling lit up in the world, of what fills you up and gives you energy and vitality. You know, if it's a job, if it's a person, if it's like where you live, whatever it is, it's like, do you feel drained or do you feel energized from this experience? Now that also, like much like memes and other things online, which I do love and enjoy, is an oversimplification of things. Obviously there are other factors, right? Like you might be going through a hard period with a partner, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, I feel drained and so I must leave, right? Like it doesn't necessarily mean that, right? So like obviously use your discernment, like inject some consciousness into this. I just feel like I have to say that when we're talking about things in like simple terms, but in a very real sense though, it can actually be that simple. You know, what lights me up, what makes me feel excited and filled up, what gives me, like puts more color in my cheeks, makes me feel like saturated in color and expression, and I feel really good about life. I feel like warm and vibrant and radiant when I walk around in the world, when I go into a market, when I do anything, I'm radiating. It's like when you're walking and smiling and you notice that people are kind of like turning and like, what is life about for this person, right? So it's like that. And that's the way it is. I'm such a dork. So, so then we take a look at moving into, and like for what the shadow stuff is, honestly, like so far, this is, I think by far the best one. So I'm just going to say that so far. So when we're taking a look at also what can you be doing? So, right, this is like what's blocking you from actually creating the life you want to create for yourself. Like what is like one of the linchpins for you, right? So then also let's take a look at how to align your actions, how to be in action so that it is helping you to create the world and the life that you want to be creating, so that it is aligned with the values that you say you are aligned with. And if your actions are not aligned with the values you say you're aligned with, maybe it's time to reevaluate your values to see if those still hold true. And if they do, boom, it's back to like adjusting your actions to make sure they're aligned with that then. So if you're not clear about your values, maybe this is a good time to get clear about that. So the 8 of Pentacles is what we have showing up in this space about how you can be in action. You know, this card is actually about, which I think a Mercury ruled sign like Virgo would actually appreciate. But this is a card that has to do with gathering more knowledge in a way, but like more so not just the gathering of knowledge, but the honing of your skills, the sharpening of your saw, the like if you're in an apprenticeship, this would be like you being in your apprenticeship and like really putting in the time and the patience and the energy and the work into building your skills, improving your skills, right? We can always better ourselves and improve our skills in whatever our chosen field is, right? Like I was a coach for like 15 plus years. I'm just going to start integrating that back in. That's going to look different. Have I ever stopped learning in that area? No. Have I ever stopped learning about tarot? No. I like might take little breaks here and there and then continue my learning. But yeah, I study astrology every day. We can always improve our skill level. And so this is really pointing to like, where can you sharpen your saw? Where can you put more attention into growing and like up-leveling your skills, right? With whatever your chosen field is. And I feel like this is deeply connected to your purpose, right? Like your purpose, your path, what you're creating for your life, which is appropriate for the question that we're asking, right? And then we take a look at the Queen of Cups as one of the cards to help ferry you through the next 2-week period of time. And we're looking at short increments of time, right? 2 weeks goes by like, boom, it's a blip, right? It's definitely a blip. Sometimes they can seem long, but like, yeah, it's a total blip. So what can you be like, how are you being instructed in terms of like, what would be helpful for you to keep top of mind or heart as you move through this 2-week period of time? You know, the Queen of Cups is a lot of things, and you know, amongst them, definitely a nourishing queen. She is nourishing and soothing and nurturing to the emotions for our own internal landscape and also for others. Like there is a lot of empathy with this queen. She has the ability to put herself in other people's shoes and to be able to be present and maybe more gentle with other human beings as a result of understanding her own internal landscape and the kind of compassion and understanding she gives herself, the way that she takes care of her own internal landscape with her emotions and her mental state and everything, and her self-care, all of the things, and her like and nurturing her intuition. All of these things help her to be able to sit in the presence of others and to really be an empathetic force in the world, a force of, you know, gentleness and compassion. Reminds me a little bit of Kuan Yin, actually. So actually, even the photo reminds me a little bit of Kuan Yin, or the picture does. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope this is insightful. If this was, please consider giving the video a like. It does help us in building the channel. As I said, I have an astrology video for the first half of the month. The astrology highlights, it's time-stamped, so you can skip around to whatever date you want. I'll have that up on the screen. And if you wanted to look at this in the larger, like bigger picture, the context of like the month of June, I would say go ahead and go check out the video for the month of June for your Virgo sign, or for your rising sign or sun sign, whichever one. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos and all of the new ones that I'm experimenting with on the horizon. I will see you in the next video. Bye.